Hello everybody, this is Joseph Propati, and today I'm going to be going through the tutorial level of Crazy Robot Factory. So Crazy Robot Factory, this is my game. I created it for a contest around 2015 I think, and did a little bit with it, but really it really kind of came into its own just recently once I was able to get a 3D printer and then create 3D components. And that's really why I wanted to do this introductory. I wanted to show all the 3D components and how the game plays with those 3D components. So that's what this video is going to be. It's going to be walking you through that tutorial level game, and then that will show you how the rules are, how the gameplay works, and prep you for the higher levels. There's 3 levels to the game. There's beginner, intermediate, and advanced. But this is a great introductory level because it'll show you all the rules, but it's not too complicated, very straightforward. Just uses the basic pieces. There's a couple other components. These conveyor belts, that they do the merge or they do the split. So those will be in the intermediate and advanced levels. So this one, again, all the components you can find on Board Game Geek under Crazy Robot Factory, all the STL files, and all the STL files will produce everything you see here, even these stands if you want. Now, I have another video I created that covers all the 3D components, kind of showcases them, but this one specifically I'm going to do just to run you through that. It's kind of like a full tutorial playthrough, and that should give you everything you need to play the game. So let me just cover the components themselves. So obviously we have our game board, and just all the P&P components are on Board Game Geek. You can download those, but if you have a 3D printer, you can go ahead and print all these components out. So we have our game board, we have all of our conveyor belts, individual pieces, we have our single assembly robot. Again, once the assembly robot is placed on the factory floor, it cannot move, but all these conveyor belts can be picked up and moved by the robots. Then we have our 2 robots. We have our 2 player boards. There's going to be a red and a blue. They go with the 2 colored robots. We have our factory assembly arm. Those will produce all the incoming conveyor belts. Then we have a start conveyor belt and a completed conveyor belt. And then here's all of our little widgets. There's 2, 4, 6, 8 different colors. And then we have our widget plans that go right on top of the assembly robot, which makes it nice because now you can use this, but you just swap out a different plan and hook that on there, and now you have the different assembly robot setups for the different levels. Let's see, inside here, which is not part of the game, we have all of our little small tokens, and these are what you will draw to pull out the components for the assembly arm. So this is kind of like my random bowl that I'll draw from. We have our turn tracker, and I'll explain how that works. We have our 9 cubes. These will reference the 9 steps that you have to program your robot. So you'll program 3, you get a robot arm, will drop in a conveyor belt that you get to place wherever you want. You just got to make sure you keep that orientation from here to here. And then after 9 are played through, that's a full turn. Then you move your turn token. You're going to be controlling both these robots. And the way it's going to work is you're going to decide which one goes first, runs through its commands, and then you're going to run through the commands on the second one. And you got to be careful when you're programming your robot because you don't want them to overlap or run into each other. So it's very easy to plan the 3 moves here, the 3 moves here, run through these three moves, and then run through these 3. And that way you can kind of keep your head in the game of where it is on the factory floor, what's picking up, what's moving, and they're not hitting each other. But that's the big part of the puzzle, is you are going to, for this introductory level, you're going to try and create a route for the widgets to come out here on the start. They're going to work their way next to this assembly robot, get processed from, where's my top? From an orange to a yellow. That's what the introductory is. And then the orange will come into here, get dropped off. It will produce a yellow, and then that yellow will be dropped off from the conveyor belt, and then you need to work its way here. And you want to try and get as many of those done before any of them fall on the floor. If more than 5 fall on the floor, because there's going to be 10 widgets. If more than 5 fall on the floor, you lose the game. So this is the general setup. You can have these to hold the conveyor belts, but we really are concerned with our player boards, our main game board, and our widgets. So what I'm going to do is I have the introductory level set up. I'll go through that. This is the general setup of it. This is the widget plan, and then I just need to put my orange and yellow widgets, a pile of 10 for each. Those are what will get converted. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll get ready to play. And then I'll also be drawing random 4 conveyor belts and placing those on here. Every time you use a robot arm and one gets pulled on, all these will shift, and then you'll draw it for a new one. Let's see. When our robots, just so you know that this is all gridded, so all these fit in their own little spots, so nothing slides around. So the nice thing about these robots and the conveyor belts is they have a little space. So when a robot goes under it, if you're not going to pick it up, let's say the blue robot is just going to go under this but not pick it up, you can put this little marker here, and that shows that the robot is underneath that conveyor belt. Then when you pop out on the other side, you just take it off. Now, if you want to pick that up, you would literally come here and then have the robot pick it up. This way the robot can now start rotating it into a different position. And then once you're done, you can drop it off. If the robot is still going to stay under it after it releases it, again, you want to put your marker so you know that the robot is underneath it. And then keep this outside of the board and keep this orientation. There's a little arrow here. The way that works is you have forward. This is your forward, right? So if you're going to move one space forward, back, and you have left or right. You're not going to rotate unless you are going to say rotate. And if you do a rotate is a full 360 if you want. Okay, so it's not like this is one move and this is one move. You can do a full 180 if you want, but just make sure you keep that orientation so you know where forward is. Because if you say, I'm going to move to the right, and then I'm going to rotate 180, now forward is not that way, it's this way. So something to remember. Then we can put this over here when we're not using it. And then you'll see, as I'm going through this introductory, I will explain all the rules and what I'm doing just to complete this game. And what will happen is I will take this tutorial once it's finished, and then I will write it out on the last pages of the manual, and it will also be something you can follow through. So if you wanted to, you could literally set it up, follow through the tutorial with all the pieces, and play the game through anytime you want. That way, give you a nice refresher. So what we're going to do is we've got everything set up based on our tutorial card. I'll grab these yellow and orange widgets, put them over here, and then I will start the turn. I'll explain what happens on the first turn or before we start. Okay? Okay, here we are. We're back. We're going to go ahead and start turn 1. Now, on turn 1, we've got to set up our initial robots, and we want to place those. They can be placed anywhere on the board edge except for on these corners. So you want to try and get them close to where you're going to start out. So I'm going to start this out because that's going to be the first one I pick up. And then I will use, the way I'm going to plan this out for this introductory, I'm going to have one robot working on the conveyor belts to the assembly robot, and then the second one will be working on the conveyor belts from the assembly robot. Now, our goal again is to get a conveyor belt set up so it's next to this assembly arm so we can process the widgets and get those widgets back to the complete. We try and process as many as we can. Once you have a complete conveyor belt, and it will automatically adjust, or I mean it will automatically process these widgets without worrying about any of them falling off, then you can go through and just say all of them process and then count as many that will actually make it. So some of the rules that you want to be aware of is you can only have up to 2 widgets per conveyor belt. Anything beyond that falls to the floor. Any widgets that fall onto the floor are destroyed. Any widgets that go off the end of a conveyor belt and there's nothing there can catch it, it's going to go onto the floor and it's going to be destroyed. You cannot pick up an assembly robot. It is fixed to the factory floor, but you can pick up all these other conveyor belts. You can't move the start or the completed. Those are fixed also. So these conveyor belts, or the new ones, which we drew 4 tokens. Now remember, whenever you're drawing a token from this pile, do not put it back inside there. Put it off to the side here, because these are a finite amount of these conveyor belts. You can't just keep getting, if you put them back in here, you're going to be drawing them and they won't be in here. So this is a 1-to-1. This amount is what's out here. So once you run out, you run out. But we will not have that happen here. So we have our orange widgets here. These are what are going to start coming out. So we'll put 1 on there. This will not move until we finish through 9 steps. Once we start the second turn. So on the very first start, no widgets get processed. They will process on turn 1. So this is kind of like you're getting your initial turn to get your robot moving around, to get at least an initial conveyor belt here to catch the first one. Otherwise, you're going to get widgets being destroyed right off the bat. So whenever you program, and the way the introductory is, just like in the basic, is you will program the first 3 commands here, right? Run through them, have the arm drop an assembly robot, or a conveyor belt, then program 3 more steps, run through them, have a factory arm drop an assembly or a conveyor belt, and then you're going to program the next final 9, 3 steps to make it through the 9. And that's what you do. When it's the advanced or intermediate, when you get to those, you'll program a lot more steps at one shot. So we have, offset, I'm just going to keep track. We have our turns. Make sure we got that. I'm going to start my robots here. And again, when you're programming your robot, you will put a marker on the step command that you're going to do. So if I'm going to move forward, I will put that here. If I wanted to move forward again, I would put one here. And then if I wanted to go left, I put it here. And then I'd go through these commands and the robot would move 1 space forward, another space forward, and then 1 left. And that's how you do your commands. If you pick something up, then you will say pick up, but that can only happen if you're underneath a conveyor belt. So you can move under all of these conveyor belts and it won't obstruct your movement. You just cannot move anywhere under or this assembly robot. Again, that's fixed, can't be moved. So you either have to move around him, but you can move under all these other conveyor belts. The what else we have? That should be it. We'll do 3 commands, robot arm, another 3 commands, robot arm, final 3, and then that's a full turn. So we will go ahead. We've got our widgets out. These orange, right? We started with 1. These orange ones will be turned into yellow widgets, and the yellow is what's going to have to be moved to the complete. Okay, that's what our plan is. Orange widgets, and we're going to produce a yellow part. It's kind of like that. It's widgets to parts. And you can see the equal sign. So orange ones will equal a yellow part. All right, and I think we're ready to go. So we will start on the next step. Okay, here we go. Let's go and we will see where our robots are and do our programming first. So you look at your plan and you're like, okay, what do I need to do? I need to make a path to here. Widgets can only go from a straight conveyor belt onto an assembly robot. You can't have, if I take one of these, you can't use something like this to have a widget move onto it. Can't do it, okay? Widgets have to be picked up from this assembly robot from a straight conveyor belt, and it has to run to the side of it. It can't be moving into it, it's just gonna be running to the side of it. So, same thing as when it's dropping off. It has to drop off to a straight conveyor belt. So we need to make a plan to get these straights, or these, when they get dropped off, here. And then once it gets picked up, created, you're going to have to figure out a path that will curve over, curve, and then get back up into completed. So I will program my red one first, because I know I want to go under this, and I want to move it. I'm going to go under it, pick it up, and move it here. So to move forward, I know that my red one, I have to move forward 1, right? That will move me here. Then I will pick up. That's going to be step 2. Pick up this conveyor belt, and then I'm going to move the whole thing left. That's going to be the first 3 steps for the red robot. Now for the blue one, I'm going to get this guy. I want to get this out of the way. So let's start here, right? So I'm going to move to here, and I'm going to get this out of the way, because that will not allow me to drop one. So I'll go forward, forward, and then pick up. So blue will be forward, forward, because remember, you can move under these, no problem, and then you're just going to pick it up. So right here we pick up, that's step 3. So let's run through our commands. We'll do red first, right? And I could move this like this if I always want to have red first and then blue. So we're going to move the red underneath, right? Which means if I'm underneath, I put my red like that, okay? And then I'm going to pick it up. So we will pick it up, and then I'm going to move left, like that, okay? Then we'll go through the blue, and I won't do the arm yet until I've done both robots. So then we'll move forward, right? We'll move forward, which means I'm underneath this conveyor belt. And then I'm going to pick it up. So we will keep that orientation. I'm going to pick it up. Now we've done those 3 commands. Let's go ahead and process this first factory. Now this is a turn, so I could use it somewhere here to get this first initial turn. So why not, we'll put it, let's put it right here. That way we don't have to move this one, we just need to put one here and here. So we're going to put that. These all get moved to the left. And then we're going to draw another one. And we draw a straight. Keep that orientation so it's like this. Put it in the pile. All right. Now it's just, it's one, okay? One robot arm, factory assembly arm movement. Not this one does it and this one does it. We only have one factory assembly robot arm that will process. We just get to this. And then same thing. Once we both get to here, one arm will drop a conveyor belt. So we've got our movement. So let's go ahead and we'll program our next 3 steps. So we'll start with red. So I need to drop this, and then I want to go under this one and get it out of the way. So let's see. We'll go drop, forward, and pick up. So we're going to go release this one. We're going to move forward. All right. And then we're going to pick up. All right. So we got that. And then we'll run through this command. So we're going to get this out of the way. So we'll move back. Let's see. And remember, also, you can't move through. I can't pick up this and just move through these conveyor belts. I can only move through a conveyor belt, which means I'm moving under it, once I've dropped or released this one. So I want to get this one out of the way, so I'll just move. And remember, my orientation is this way. So we're going to move back, which means reverse. Then we're going to release. And then we're going to move to the right. Okay. So we're going to go through red first. We do the release. All right. We're still under it. We go forward. And our orientation is this way, so we keep this orientation. And then we're going to do a pickup. So we have that. Since we got it picked up. That's those commands, right? And then we're going to go through these where it's reverse, release, leave the blue thing because I'm still there, and then to the right. Now we have an arm movement, so we will take this one, place it anywhere we want, and I think this is a perfect spot because remember, straight conveyor belts, we can drop widgets right on there. Okay? So we've got that motion, we've done our arm, right? And we got to remember, this is going to start moving on the next turn. So let's program our last 3 steps. I want to get this out of the way, or I want to have it so I can utilize it to move it. But I think we're going to work our steps over here, and this is the wrong direction. So what we'll do is we'll get rid of this. I think we'll move it back 1. I want to get out of the way because I want to move this here. And then we'll use a right. So I think I'm going to grab this. So we'll go back, release, and then forward. So we got, okay. I think it's easier if we go forward, release, and then right. Forward, release, and right. So we got forward, release, and then right. And then this one, I need another, because we've got this motion. So we'll take, I'm going to end up moving probably this one to here, or this one here. So I think we can move this one here, because that's in a good spot. So we'll go forward, right, and then pick up. Forward, right, and pick up. Forward, right, and pick up. Right, so we'll go through the red command first. This was forward, release, all right, release, so we're still underneath it, and then to the right. So that means we are underneath this one now. We'll keep that orientation. All right, remember we're facing that direction. And then we got forward, right, which means we are underneath this conveyor belt, and then we are going to pick it up. Okay. Finish that turn. Move on next turn. We go ahead and take these all off. This is kind of like the cleanup. We have everything cleaned up. We're going to move these, draw a keep this orientation, so we have this one, and it goes on like that. I'm going to keep this over here. All right, so let's go ahead now. Yes, now this would be start of a turn, and at the start of the turn, if there's a widget moving, we're going to move the widget there and put a widget on the start. So that means if I don't do anything for this right here, it's going to fall on the ground on the factory floor and be destroyed. So let's go ahead and we'll start the next turn. All right, so we're going to start turn 1. Turn 1 now has the widget that moved onto the first conveyor belt, and then we processed another one onto the start. So we got to worry about this right here. So we know that our robot's underneath this, and the orientation is front is that way. So we can do pick up, move right, and then move back, and then it'll be ready to go. Let's see. Let's see. We're going to do pick up, move, back. All right, so that's going to be tough because it means we're going to lose one. So red will be pick up, move right, and then move and reverse. But we'll be okay because we got 9 steps that we can do. So we'll be okay here. And then we have the blue robot. We want to move that one here, so we're going to do the orientation is this way. So we're going to move left, left, and then we're going to do a release. All right, and then let's move to the right. We'll get out of its way. So we'll move, release, and then move. Okay, so let's go through the red first. We have pick up, pick up, all right, move to the right, and then move and reverse. Okay, and then this one is, we're going to move to the left, we're going to release it, all right, and then we're going to move to the right. Put this back here. All right, now we have an arm movement, so that means we take this one and we can move it any way we want. But we have to keep this orientation. And let's see. Let's put this. This one can't really help us. We really want this one. Or this one would be good for here. So we'll just put this over here. This is a good one that we could use to put right here. So I think we'll use this orientation. Boom, we'll get it straight, and then we'll turn. So it's going to have to be some movement over there. And this is the same. So we can do these two, move them here. All right. And then we can use, let's draw these. Let's draw another one. And we have what we got here. All right, keep the orientation, put that here. Now let's go into our next 3 commands. So I want to drop this, so I'm going to do a release. All right. And I want to, actually this would have been good here. All right, so we'll do this. We're going to drop that, and we are going to grab this. Say drop. So we're going to release. Go back, pick this up, move it over to here. All right, so we'll release. We'll move left. So release, move left, and then pick up. All right. So release, move left, pick up, because we're going to move that over here and then rotate it. And then this guy, we're going to have him go ahead and pick this guy up and bring him back here. So we'll go move to forward, right, and right. Forward, right, and right. So forward, right, and right. All right, so let's go through these commands. We'll do red first. So we have red, which is release. Keep the orientation. We're still underneath it. Then we're going to go left, which means we're going to be going under this guy. And we're going to pick up. Okay. So at least we know this will be able to get the next widget, so we're good there. And we got to get this guy over here. And then this one here. So we'll do blue now. We're going to do forward, and then right, and right. Sorry, right. Keep the orientation. And this means it's underneath. So the robot is now underneath this one. So we've gone through these commands. Let's do another drop. Oh, this is good. We could use this. So let's put this here. Now all I have to do is just rotate it. Get underneath it and rotate it. And we'll put that one here. Let's move these. Shift. Draw another one. Oh, and we got a straight again right there. Keep the orientation like that. And we'll do our next final 3 commands, which means I want this guy over here. So we're going to go right. Make sure I got this orientation right. So nope. So it's going to be forward, forward, and then right and right. Right and right. Right, so they got that movement. And then this guy, we're going to move him to there. So we're going to go pick up, and the orientation is forward and then release. So we got pick up, forward, and release. Right, so for the last 3 commands of this, let's do red first. We have forward, which means here, and then right and right. But I'm still underneath it. And then we went through the blue. Blue is pick up. And then we have forward. And then we do a release. All right. But he's still underneath. So we're good there. We'll line those up. All right. So we've cleared those all out. Let's do cleanup. So we take all these off. Okay. Okay. So we've cleaned that up. We've got our arm assembly all filled up. We have our robots where they're at. We are going to go to turn 2. So we'll get ready for turn 2. All right, let's start processing turn 2. So we remove our little turn widget, and we will start again moving our orange widget. And gotta be careful. Don't want it to fall on the ground. Remember, our ultimate goal is to get next to this and then get back up to here. So let's start programming the red robot. We know that this one, we're gonna have this guy, we're just gonna rotate. Right, so we're going to first do a rotate, so we'll get it in the right orientation. All right, so we'll do a rotate, we'll do a release here, and let's see what else. We'll do a rotate, release, and then go to the left here. Or if I look the orientation, yeah, left. So that's first that one, and then the red, we can now move. So let's get, we're gonna have that one go here. So we need this to here. We're gonna have to clear some of the space out of the way. Because that one's right, this will be a straight, this is gonna be a turn, and that's the turn we want. So these won't help. This is what I want. And that one's too far away, so let's see. I'll have to move, so we'll go forward, 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 forward. Do 3 forwards and get it underneath there. I want to get a space for it, so I gotta get this guy out of the way because I'm gonna have to go boom, boom, boom. All right, so we'll go forward, left, and then pick up. Forward, left, and then pick up. That way I can get this one out of the way. And I can actually move him here. And then I'll rotate him, so that'll be good. So we've got the blue and red. So let's start this out. We will go red first. So red is going to be rotate. And I'm just going to do a quarter turn rotation. We'll do a release. Keep my orientation there. And then we go left, which is this way. And that will be there. All right, so then what we'll do is pick that up and move it here. So we'll do the blue. Blue is forward, which means we go here. And we do a left. And a pickup. So we have that. Got him underneath there, so we'll leave that there. And we'll do the arm. So we got this guy, we could put a straight out. I can't, my robot's there, so unfortunately I can't put it there. But I can put it, and I'm going to move him there, so I don't want to do that. So let's just, I guess we'll just, no, I don't want it there because that one's going to go there. So we'll just move it here because we have, these two are going to go there. So we're okay. So let's shift these. Draw a new one. And that's the orientation. So we have, let's see, it looks like that. Place that there. Okay. All right, so let's do our first commands. So, or what we'll do, we did our arm, so we're going to do our next command. So I want to move this guy to here. So we're just going to go back, back, and release. So reverse, reverse, release. So reverse, 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 and release. So it'll go reverse, reverse, release. Okay, and then the red, we want this one back over here. So we're going to go reverse, reverse, and then right. And I got to get that back over here. So let's do reverse, reverse, and right. I'm not going to make that. So I don't know why I moved that so far away. Well, it's just the way it is. I don't think there's any other ones that I can really use. That one really has to get here. So we'll go, yeah, reverse, reverse, right. Can't do much. Reverse. It's okay to lose one. And right. Okay. So this time we're going to do the blue first, which means reverse, reverse. So we have reverse, reverse, and then release. And we're still underneath. Okay, and then here we have reverse, reverse, and then right. And then we have another arm movement, and maybe this one will help. It's not really in the one directions I need, so already got that guy, so I'm just going to stick it right there. We'll move these. And we'll draw a new one. And that is this one. Okay. So let's go ahead and do our last commands, and it's going to be tough. So we're going to go 1, 2, and then pick up. So we're going to go reverse, right, and then pick up. Reverse, right, and then pick up. We're going to lose one though, but that's okay. One is okay. And then blue, we will do I don't know why I released that yet because I wanted to rotate it. So we'll have to do a pickup, rotate, and release, which is, no, I need to get these out. So, okay, pickup, rotate, and release. We'll do that. See what happens when you miss a step? Pick up, rotate, and release. All right. So we'll do the red first. Red first is reverse, right, and then pick up. And then we have our guy in here. All right. And then we'll do our blue, which is pick up, rotate, and then release. And then we're good there. All right. And then we're going to clean up this turn, finish it up. Go ahead and take all these off. Let's do this. Okay. Everything else is good. We got our assembly boards full. And then, yep, we're unfortunately going to lose one, but that's okay. We'll get ready for our next turn 3. Okay, let's do turn 3. What happens in the first turn? We go up onto the factory floor, unfortunately. So that means we lost 1, burned it. That's a negative, or not a negative, but we just don't get the points for that. All right, and now we have, we got to get this guy here. So we will do red first, which means we will go reverse. If we look at our orientation, yep, start forward. We're going to go forward 1, then left, and then forward. So we'll go forward, left, and forward. And that's what it's going to be, and then we'll do our rotation. Because then once we get that, we're going to move him here. And then our blue, we have our blues underneath because we got the little marker. So now we can move out of here because we want to move here. So we'll go forward, then we'll go left, and then pick up. So we'll go forward, left, and then pick up. Okay, so let's go ahead. We've got our 3 commands set up. Let's do our command process. So we go forward, and then we go left, and then we do forward again. Okay, and then for blue, we do take out, we go forward, then we do left, and then pick up. So we're underneath. Right, forward, left, and then pick up. So now we're underneath there. We get to drop our arm. Let's see, this guy help. Would have helped there, but we've already got something there, so let's just put that there. And we will shift these. Draw a new one. In this orientation, that means we got a straight. Keep that out. All right. Now let's program next up. So this one, I need to get the orientation right so it'll curve and drop onto here. So this is going to be a rotate, basically 180, but it doesn't matter. All I have to do is a rotate command. So we do rotate, right? Once I get in the spot I want, then we'll do a release. And then when I get out of there, because I want to get over here. So whatever I got to see what my orientation is, right? It's this way. I'm going to do a 180, right? Because I'm going to be flipping this thing around, and then I'm going to be going, and this is where it's important that you keep track of the forward facing of these things, because if you don't, when you pull the robot off, you go, oh, forward is this way, and I just said reverse, so crud, I'm going to go that way. So if this is my orientation, right? That's forward. I'm going to flip a 180. So that means now it's going to be forward, and I want to go this way, so I'm going to go right. Okay. Then for blue, I'm going to do a rotate. Do a rotate, then a release, and then I want to move to get this here. So we'll do Let's see. And when you play in the higher levels, you have to keep track. You don't get to move off. You don't get to move this off to C, right? You have to be aware. So I'm going to rotate this way. So now this is what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to do a reverse. Reverse. So you got to keep track of that orientation. All right. So we've got all the commands in. Let's go ahead and we'll run through the red first. So first one first is going to be rotate. So I want to rotate it 180 degrees. Then I want to release it. And then I said I want to go right. So that means I'm going to go underneath this guy. Keep that orientation for him. So that means we've got our widgets going like this, and I just got to get him there because it can only pick up from a straight. And if we do a blue, we do a rotate, which means we rotated this way. Then we do a release. And then we said reverse. So that means reverse. All right. And we have our arm. Don't need this one. Well, we could, except I'm going to move it here, so I'll put it there. Won't need it. Because now that I'm going to move that here, we're good. Let's get our new arm. And that is this one. Okay. And we'll program our last 3 steps. We'll do red first, which means this is going to be picked up. So we'll do a pickup. And we're going to do a reverse. A reverse. And then we got this orientation right, so we're just going to release. And then here, I want to get this guy. So I have to just go straight back, go 1, 2, 3. Right? So we'll go reverse 3 steps. Reverse, reverse, reverse. All right. So let's run through, we'll do the red first. Red is a pickup. All right, so we pick this guy up. Okay, and then we'll do a reverse. And then we're going to do a release. It's good. Remember, robot assembly, factory assembly robot can only pick up from a straight. So, we got, I think we're good there. The blue is just a reverse, reverse, reverse. All right. And then we'll go through, let's do our cleanup. We're doing our cleanup. All right, let's finish up the cleanup. Let's take these off here. Okay, that's the cleanup, and then we'll go ahead and go to the next turn. All right, now we are on turn 4, and our widgets will move down the conveyor belt with a new one at the start. Okay, we know that our red robot's underneath this conveyor belt, and there's our blue. So let's go ahead and finish up our route. We have almost got our complete route here. We just need this guy here in the correct orientation, and we will now be able to complete this route, and everything will be able to flow turn after turn. So we just got to make sure that we get, everything has to be done before turn 36. It's at the end. Okay, once it goes all the way around, that's when the game's over. So I think we're fine. And since this is an introductory, I'll be able to show you as these flow through the conveyor belt. So we'll start this off. We'll do the red first. we are going to move, since this is where it's oriented and it's correct, we're going to get this guy out of the way because this path is correct. Boom, boom. So let's just move him. We'll move him forward. Forward. And I think we're good here because he can pick it up, move, pick up, move, and then moves here and we'll be fine. So we're just going to move this robot 2 forward and we'll leave him right there on the factory floor. It'll be good. And then for the blue, we are going to go to the left, right? We're going to, or sorry, we want this one. We're going to do a pickup. Okay, so left, pickup, and then we're going to do move forward. All right. So this one will finish its movement, and then we will just do a pause. So whenever you have a robot that's not going to do anything, if it's just going to stay where it's at, don't forget that you have to do a pause, and that'll keep it in that one spot. So let's run through these commands. We'll do the red first. Red is forward, so we go forward. It's not under there anymore. And then we go forward, and then we pause. So that one's good. And then for the blue, we go left, right, which means we are under this guy. Then we do a pickup. Okay, and then we do a forward, because that is our ultimate goal right there. But now we have to drop off a conveyor belt, which is fine. There's no need for this one. We'll just drop it here, no problem. We got all the ones that we want. Let's draw another one. Make sure we keep that orientation like this. And put it in the pile. Let's see, we've got the next step. So again, our red is just going to pause. We'll just do pause, pause. And this usually happens once you get near the end when you're on your last commands. Now this one we're going to go forward, and we're going to rotate, and then we're going to do a release. Okay, so 3 pauses for the red, we're good. The blue will go forward. It will do a rotate and then a release. We're still underneath. We can drop an arm. We can put that here, no problem. Let's go ahead. We rotate these. And that's our new one. That's that guy right there. Okay. And then we do our last steps, which looks like we're all good here. We've got this and this, so I think we'll just get the robot and we'll move the robot out of there. So the command will be a right. So this will be a right, and then these are pauses. Pause and pause. Same with the red. They're going to be 3 pauses. All right, so let's run through these commands. Pause, pause, pause. We do a right, which brings it right here, and then pause and pause. Now, if we look at our orientation, it looks like we're clear because it's going to pick up from a straight and drop off onto a straight. So if we do, we finished our commands, we're going to head and do our cleanup. So let's go ahead, before we go to our next turn, we'll clean these up. And then once we've got our completed conveyor belt route, we can just run through each turn and make sure everything processes to the completed conveyor belt. All right, so we've cleaned that up. We've got our assembly boards fine. Let's go ahead and we'll get ready for the next turn. All right, let's process turn 5. So we'll move our marker, turn 5. And we will move our conveyor belt. 1. All right. Now, we know that there's nothing else we want to do. So these would all be pauses. And then let's just run through each turn with the conveyor belt running. Now, you're only going to do this if you know that you have your conveyor belt completed and correct, so nothing will fall on the ground and you'll lose anything. So turn 5 is this. We'd run through everything. We'd pause our arm. It's not going to drop anymore, right? So we know that these would all function. We would say stop on the factory assembly arm, and then let's just process these. And you don't have to run through this, but it's good to make sure that your conveyor belt system is correct. Right? So we got now once it hits here, it creates a yellow. All right? And then it pops it onto here. So it's kind of a process. Once it hits here, it creates, and then you can pop it on to the next one. So you got to be careful, because this is a process where it's pick up, create, and drop off. All right? Because it has to be, it leaves it open for multiples to come on here, just in case you have this 2 goes into 1. Okay? So we would do another turn. We would go here first. This gets moved. This gets turned into a yellow. Move, 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 and then we only have 2 left. All right, another turn, so this gets moved, processed into a yellow. Move, move. Last one on the start. Okay, turn 9. We go here, here, here. Processes into a yellow. Here. All right, and you can see how this flow is. Turn 10 would have these move. Orange to a yellow. And we're just kind of playing these out. Orange, whoops, to a yellow. 12, almost to the complete. Orange to a yellow. And there's our first complete. Orange transfers into yellow. Our second complete. And orange to, looks like the only one we missed out is 1 yellow. And then 15 is, and you kind of get the gist of how these all now process. So you look like if you want to count turns to see how long it would take, you basically would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more turns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're good. And that's the thing is, even if you got your conveyor belt, once everything's good, this is how many would process. So what's bad is if you get to here and you just get your conveyor belt finished, you're only going to be able to process 2 or 3. So it's incredibly important to get your conveyor belt set up as fast as possible and then see how many would process out and if you get your total max points. Because in this game, we're going to make 7 robot products, or sorry, 9 robot products. We missed one because one fell on the floor. So this was the one that didn't generate. And we would process all those parts before the game was over. And like I said, if this took us all the way to here to get our completed conveyor belt, whatever's on the conveyor belt, you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4 more turns. So if it was right here, I'd only get 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd only have 4 widgets that were produced into parts. So right there, that is the introductory tutorial level. And again, I will go through the video. I will make sure I can process this full introductory onto the rules at the end of the rules so you can follow it through. But this is the introductory level, and hopefully it made sense, helped you figure out how to play the game, how things move. Again, very important that you keep the orientation of the front. You can see his eyes. As long as you see the robot's eyes, you can tell that that's the front of the robot. So when you have something on top, like if we have, let's put one of these, if this guy's on top, you can still see his eyes. So you know that that's forward. And again, that's very important. You need to make sure that you keep that orientation. But I hope you enjoyed this. This is my game, Crazy Robot Factory. These are all the 3D components. If you want to see it, I have some other videos up using the regular P&P components, paper ones. But again, these will all be available that you can print out and create the game yourself. And then give it a go. I would recommend going through again the tutorial and then picking one of the 3 beginner levels. Each level has 3 pre-made setups. So there's 3 beginning, 3 intermediate, and 3 advanced. And you'll be able to find those all in the rules. And again, I'm updating those, so those will be put in the file section very soon. But I hope you enjoyed this, and there will be more videos to come. I'll try and do one for beginner, one for intermediate, and one for advanced. And that way you can see how all the components work, all the new conveyor belts, how these are used in the game, and how hard it gets when you have a little bit more complication, especially when there's 3 to 1, 2 to 1. When you have to do these conversions, there'll be 2 assembly robots, and 2 different color widgets have to make one, and then this one plus another one going to another assembly. So it can get very confusing, and it can get pretty complicated. But if you like puzzly games, I think this is going to be the game for you. You really have to think out your moves, figure out how you want to do the setup. And again, when you do the higher levels, you have to program all 9 commands before the robots move. So if you're getting them really close, you can really get yourself screwed up if you start bumping into each other. And what happens is if the robots bump in together, they reset. And it basically takes, I don't know, I want to say a whole turn, but it'll take a whole 3 commands that they're just kind of paused, and they're just stuck in where they're at, and they don't do anything for those 3 commands. They just kind of reboot. So do not bump them in together, because you're going to lose these 3 phases. And you'll have to just restart. You'll go to the next one and have to restart. So be aware of that. But if you want to find these components and the rules, just go to Board Game Geek and look under Crazy Robot Factory. And you'll find the game. You'll be able to download the rules and get going. Start playing. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you subscribe, I do create other content for other games that I've created. Thanks for watching.